Hi and welcome to Retro Tech Guardian. Today we're going to be looking at this lovely bit of kit here. It's the Sony FX412UK. It's a TV, radio, cassette player. Again, here's Ted, just to show you the size of the item that we're looking at today. Approximately 12 inches across, 8 inches deep, and about 3 inches tall. So, right, you can see the cassette part here. We'll just move Ted to one side a sec. Look at the front, and here we have the screen. It's a black and white unit. It's a CRT TV. It's not LCD. It's the old cathode ray tube. We have approximately 3.7 inch diagonally across. It's got a little VU meter here, which acts as a battery level indicator. And then we have the radio function switch, so you have medium wave, short wave and FM. Yes, it does have shortwave radio too. And here we have the power switch and the selector switch, so TV, tape and then radio. AFC button with the light, pull back, I'll show that on after. Then you have your tone control, no bass and treble, and volume control here, and a little record indicator there. This little dial here is for your TV tuning, and this one here is for your radio tuning. So again, we'll go back to the top. You can see on the top you have the speakers just under here. You have an aerial, you have your tape deck, and you have your buttons for your tape deck. You have your eject button here and a pause button here. Now this one, you have to lift that first and then eject your tapes. So it doesn't actually lift that up. So that's that. Now on the right hand side, just to show you, we have two dials, one for TV tuning, one for radio tuning. And that's all there is on that side. On the other side, we have this two slots here, and those two slots is where this power supply, you can just see those metal lugs there. They fit into these two little slots here. Then you have your power, which is 12 volt in, with negative center, which is unusual. And then you have your earphone, your wired remote, and your microphone socket. And obviously this is your handle here. Right, and then on the very back, now mine never came with the little earphones, but there's a little compartment here you can open up and you just stash your little earphones in there. Then you have on here, you have your brightness, contrast, brightness, horizontal hold, vertical hold, and extension antenna in. So that would just be a little jack plug to RF, female RF usually. So you can use an extension aerial. And of course this is an analog tuner, so there's no free view or anything, but I will show the TV working later. And then last but not least, on the back we have the battery compartment. Now you can see on this, the foam is starting to disintegrate just with time. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might just take that foam off and not bother, because I don't think I'll ever run the batteries on here. It takes 6 D-cell batteries. I don't think I'll probably ever run it with batteries, so I have tested it. This was donated to me a few years ago, and I've actually done some repairs to this before I decided I was going to start filming my channel. And so there is, it does need new drive belts for the tape deck. So when they come, we will be doing another video showing you them, but we will be opening it up today so you can have a look inside a bit later on. Okay, now on the back you have the Sony label. Now you have it, FX412UK, and the power requirements. Only uses 14 watts of mains electric, and there's your frequencies for your radio. There you go. Okay, now what I like about this is this little power supply here, which if we get the label for you, there you go, it's an AC412 UK. I see quite a few of these units for sale on eBay, and a lot of them don't, for whatever reason, don't seem to come with the original power supply. So I was very fortunate when this was donated to me that the lady had the original power supply as well. So that was a nice thing. So it goes in. If I put it in the right way around, that would probably help. So it goes in into those little grooves and then slides back. And then as it slides back, it gives you access to the 12-volt socket there. The little lead goes in. Again, this is negative center, which is unusual nowadays because a lot of the modern equipment is positive center. But for some reason, back in the day, they seem to like using negative center. And then when this little lead is in, that stops this from being able to completely fall out. Yes, it's loose and it moves around, but it won't fall out. So, right, so we'll flip it back up this way. We'll just move this mains cable out of the way a little bit. Try that again. Okay, so we'll flip that up that way. Now, I don't like the noise, but to get this on, I actually connected up via an amplified aerial, a VCR and an Xbox. I am going to do a separate video this weekend showing you how you can connect well, anything with a composite output from my case. They do HDMI to composite, but I'll go more into that when I do the video. So I'm going to be showing a video of how you can connect whatever you want within your own house to your CRT TV. Right, so for now we'll just turn the Xbox on. I've turned it off because it's quite loud and I don't want it to be in the background of the video. So we'll turn it on, we'll let it start up, and we'll just lift the aerial up a little, like so. And then we'll go to TV. If I turned it on, it would help. There we go. Now obviously the lines that you see going up there, that's just the camera. You don't see them in real life. So we tune the TV and see if we can find the Xbox logo. It's usually around channel 36. There we go. So there you go. As you can see it, you've got the Xbox Live there. The signal that I amplify isn't very strong because I don't want it to be too strong, because I don't want to have a broadcast license. So as long as it's within only a few feet, you're not going to be broadcasting to other people, you should be fine. So obviously there's no sound on this now. For copyright reasons, I don't want to be playing YouTube discs in there. I will have that sorted for my next few videos. I found a way of getting around that. I'll be plugging in an Arcos to the video and then playing some music which I've been given the rights to use. So yeah, so that's the TV working, obviously in black and white. It's quite a good little picture when you get it set up properly. So yeah, I'm quite impressed with that, considering that that is, what, 42 years old, still working fine. So I'm just going to turn the Xbox off because I want to get rid of that noise. There you go. It's gone off now. As you can see, the TV's lost the signal. So we'll turn it across now. We'll flip it back up. We will be doing the radio next. Put the aerial away. So we'll be doing the radio. Now again, I can show the radio tuning and working. But I won't be having the volume on for long, just basically because, again, copyright reasons. I don't want to get a strike on the channel. So
don't stop.
There you go. You can hear it tune in, and it finds. There you are. So radio does work. Let's try the shortwave. There you go, shortwave's working. There we go, and try AM. Now AM in the house will pick up some of your electronics interference, but that all works. Your little AFC light doesn't really show up on camera, but it is a very small light bulb in there, so it doesn't really light it up a lot, but it does work. So we'll switch it back to tape. We'll turn that back over. And now this was recorded on this tape knowing that the tape drive belts need doing, so there's some wow and flutter there, and it's not the best quality, and I do need to get some decent isopropyl holes so I can clean the heads better and clean all the pinch roller and everything, because it does have a tendency to chew tapes now and then, so I'll keep an eye on it as it's playing. But I can play this, and I can play the music. This music is a family friend, and he makes his own, produces his own music, and he's given me rights to use his music. If you like the music, obviously it will be better quality than what this will be playing. There will be a link in the description for his Spotify account, so you can listen to his music if you want to. So anyway, let's try this. And as you can see, it's playing. There is some background hiss. Now you can hear that wow and flutter. That was recorded on this machine. Then you can pause it there. I always rewind that just a touch first. I don't want the tape snagging, it does have a tendency to snag. That was recorded quite a while ago as well, and it has got better since. I will be explaining the repairs that I've done when I take it apart. I spent hours on this thing trying to diagnose what the fault was. There was very low volume on the radio and tape. It was hit and miss. Occasionally it would be a bit louder, occasionally it would just, you could hardly hear it. I went through all sorts of things looking for the fault. It turned out to be something really simple. Now I will give that as a bit of a tip, just so in case you get anything like this yourself, you can have a little look at it. Right, now I will be taking this apart. I am not a qualified engineer. I've done an electronics course, but I'm not a qualified engineer. I will not be touching anywhere near the back of this tube TV here. Don't take this apart if you don't know what you're doing. There's an awful lot of power there, and it has the potential to kill. So just be very careful. It does say on the bottom of this unit, caution to prevent electric shock, do not remove cover, non-serviceable parts inside, refer servicing to qualified service personnel. So I will be taking this apart, but like I say, I will not be going anywhere near that particular, I will not be going anywhere near the tube. If you leave this open for a few, if you leave it turned off, sorry, for a few days, chances are the tube will have lost its power. It does act like a capacitor, and it will eventually drain its power. Again though, that's entirely up to you. This isn't a how-to video as such. This is just for educational purposes only. I don't expect anybody to be opening one of these if you're not sure what you're doing. All these little tube tellies really do give a kick. Right, okay. So this one, like I say, I've had this apart before, so I know where the screws are. There's little arrows. I don't know if you can see those in the video. Little arrows and all the ones you need to undo. So if I turn it that way for a second, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one in the battery compartment just in there. You can just see it down the bottom there. So let's whip these out, and they don't take long to undo. And there's one, two. The one in the battery compartment is slightly shorter than the others. And the one in the middle here, because I think this unit must have been apart previously, never really wants to, it never really tightens, never really comes undone. Right, and that one never seems to want to fall out either. Anyway, we'll tip it over. Oh yeah, just to say, this actual outside, it's metal on the outside here, even on the cassette lid here, but it's been stuck to plastic, and in a couple of places it's like it's delaminating, like it's coming apart. And I don't know if you can see that on camera, if it will show. Oh, there we go, that's the first time that screw's come out. So it does feel like it's delaminating a little bit, the here. Now, I might try and get some super glue with a syringe down the back of there one day, but I'm worried about creasing the metal. It's thin tin over the top. Oh, one thing I should have mentioned, sorry, on this left hand side of the screen, I've just remembered, there's a microphone. Because you can record directly from the tape into that microphone, you can record the sound off the TV, and you can obviously record the sound of the radio as well. So now we're going to lift this open. Now I know from having this apart, there's a few wires just here that become really tight, so we're going to put my little soldering iron box. Soldering iron's not in there, it's empty, but I am going to put that there, and these two tuning dials need to come off because it won't come apart with them in. So we're going to lift that up. As you can see, that just lifts straight up and it goes straight over. There we go. And as you can see inside, there's the inside, there's the electronics. Now remember, this was manufactured in approximately 1979. There is just here, I don't know if it will show up on the, no, it's hard to show you. There is some stamps on here, made in Japan, 4023538. Now I don't know what that means. I was trying to find a manufactured stamp, because a lot of the times when these are manufactured, companies would put the manufacture date stamped into the actual plastic, but I can't see it on this. Anyway, so just here, I am way above this, by the way. That's your little tiny tube TV, and in 1979, to get a little tube that small, now don't forget that's only 3.7 inches across, it was obviously quite a feat of engineering back in the day. There's no integrated circuits in here, it's all old-fashioned components. It's to me, this is what I like about these things. It's the electronics inside it is a little bit more, I don't know, I think they're more easily serviceable, because all of these components you'd probably still be able to buy from somewhere, or at least most of them. Probably not that tube, if that tube ever went, so that would be a shame. And I think the reason why I like these old pieces of kit is I really love these dials and knobs you can turn, and it's not touchscreen, it's not, everything's like all in one. You know, your whole life now becomes on one item with your phone, and yeah, you can enjoy it, but you know you've got to really keep that safe, and you know, and I like the fact that this is very touchy-feely. It's got nice dial switches, volume controls and things, where nowadays you just swipe your hand across the screen and everything's done like that. And of course some of the new TVs now have a camera on them and you can just wave your hand like that to change channel. And I don't know, that doesn't feel like you're interacting to me. I like the physical part of being able to touch and move and change things that way. That's just me personally. I think that's why I love these so much. So anyway, that's the inside. So we have the tuner and amplifier circuit is just around here for the radio, and we have the little power board here, and this is obviously your tape mechanism. Now it's quite hard to show here, but there is, I think, a total of 5, maybe 6 drive belts. Now I have some that are right size, but the main one, which I will find, but I haven't found yet, it's quite long, and where it's been sat obviously for years and no one's played the tape, when it's gone round the motor, which is quite a small pulley, it's actually made, instead of the tape around the band being like a normal round shape like that, it's made like a little kink on the end like that. So every time it plays and it gets to that bit, that's where you hear this wow and flutter. So I will be getting new ones for them. Anyway, like I say, when I first got this, the volume control was just very sketchy. So of course the first thing I checked was the speaker here, which is a Sony unit, 4 ohm, 1.5 watt, made in Japan. The whole thing's made in Japan. So the first thing I tried was that. That was fine. I thought, right, okay, maybe it's something to do with, and it was hit and miss. And I thought, maybe there's a cap going bad, a capacitor here going bad somewhere. And I had a little look round, and trust me, taking this apart is an absolute nightmare. And then I got the meter out again and I started checking things. And then it kind of dawned on me that when I was playing the tape, it wouldn't fast forward and rewind very well. And I was thinking, why won't that rewind? And I checked the voltage. I've got 9 volt on one side, 5 on the other, that's right. And I was thinking, doesn't seem right to me. That motor doesn't seem like it's spinning right. So I basically connected the motor up to my bench power supply and spun the motor, and the motor was fine. But when it was in this, it wouldn't. So I thought, it must be a power issue. But so again, I checked it under load, and it was still staying at 9 volt. The power wasn't breaking down, and I was thinking, oh, what is it? Anyway, then it dawned on me, maybe it's just the grounding. Maybe it's a grounding issue. Maybe the ground was dirty. And then just here, the case for the motor, when I touched that, all the hiss and vibe and hum and everything went out of the unit. Just, it went really clear. And I thought, so it must be a bad ground. So again, I traced all the grounds. And then in the end, it was this function switch here at the front was dirty. That's all it was. So I threw some switch cleaner into the little switch at the back, turned it a few times, transformed it. Suddenly the volume was consistent. It was a hell of a lot louder than what it was. And I must have spent 20 hours going through, and yet it was the most basic thing. And ever since then, I start with these switches. Every switch and dial when I get a new item for my collection now, before I turn it on, I pull the knob or dial off, and then I will spray it inside and clean the switch. Yes, I know you should really take the switch off and clean it apart properly, take it apart and clean it properly. I'm not going to be doing that because I'd probably end up destroying these little reels here. Now these little reels are like a black plastic film with the numbers printed on them, and they obviously are for your tuning. So they just roll one way, roll the other way, and if they come apart, I'll be there for days trying to get that back together. So I'm not going to be doing that. But after cleaning the ground, the whole thing just transformed. So a lot of wires, as you can see, wires everywhere to everything. No ribbon cables. There's predates things like ribbon cables. That wasn't an option. And it's just big, clunky, quite basic electronics. No integrated circuits to worry about. That's why I really love these. old vintage. This is what I remember working on and seeing when I was a kid. So I think this is what brings that back to me. And like I say, my thing is the touchy-feely side of things. Being able to turn your volume up and not being able to wave your hand just to change channel. You physically have to turn the dial or turn the radio station. You know, you don't just press a button and it's tuned. I like the old mechanical style devices. So yeah, so that's it, the FX412 UK, and we will be doing an update video, like I say, on the drive belts. And if you've got one of these items or anything similar like this and you're having problems with grounding and your fast forward not working properly and rewind not working properly, and you don't want to take it apart, buy some switch cleaner. I've got switch cleaner up there. Mine cost me £1 from a cheap shop. It's not by far the best switch cleaner, but it works, it does the job. And like I say, just all I did was clean up those, and when I cleaned those up, it just transformed the whole machine. I do need to clean the little aerial post here. You can see the other side of the aerial post here. Here. And this aerial post connects to there, and that's how it makes the signal. So obviously your aerial will work better when that's cleaned. And there is some dust and everything still inside it, but I want to give it a really good clean and show you the belts being done when I can eventually find some belts for it. So that will be a future video. So thanks for watching, guys, and like I say, look in the link in the description. There'll be a couple of links there for other bits and pieces. I will be doing another video later on today just to show you how I get an analog signal onto an old analog TV, whether it's the LCD version or the CRT version, and it'll just show you how you can link anything you want, and within the confines of your own house or your own living room or your own area, you can then sit and watch and reuse these old electronics if you really wish to. So thanks for your time, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.